When I found Marietta, I didn't just find a place to go to college. I found so much more than that.
I found friends. I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, a man wins $200,000 lottery prize on his way to chemotherapy.
And a tragedy at college party leaves everyone on edge.
We'll have these stories and more when NewsCenter 15 starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Cooper Holmes.
And I'm Isabella Lopez.
Topping our news this afternoon, a North Carolina man won a $200,000 lottery prize while on his way to his last round of chemotherapy. The man, Ronnie Foster, bought the winning scratch-off ticket before getting treatment for his colon cancer. Foster said he claimed the prize Friday at the lottery headquarters in Marietta. He said he took home about $140,000 after taxes. Foster says he plans to use part of his winnings to pay his medical bills.
In Birmingham, Alabama, hundreds of people packed a church for the funeral of a 3-year-old Camille McKinney. The crowd filled up a 700-seat church, and a fellowship hall was used to seat the overflow of mourners. McKinney was abducted October 12th from a birthday party. Her body was found 10 days later, and her 2 abductors have been detained and charged with kidnapping and capital murder.
You know, I wonder what the weather is supposed to be like today.
Here to provide a first look at the weather is Jared Ruffin.
What's up, guys? It's your first look at the weather. My first look. I haven't really looked. But today, it's going to be 63 degrees outside. Feels like it's 63, so it's cold, kind of cold, partly cloudy. The low UV, the air quality is great, and pollen moderate, just because all the trees, fallen leaves. I mean, we all go outside, you see people gardening. The wind, it's going to be about 4 miles south, humidity 100%, so it's that awkward time where it's cold but hot. And sunrise 7:50, sunset 6:27, which is, make sure you get home early, and if you're driving, have your headlights on. And that's pretty much the forecast for today, but as we look back later, we'll have the full week ahead. So we're going to head back to the desk.
Thank you, Jared. A shooting at an off-campus party at Texas University left 2 dead and 14 injured among the 750 attending this past Saturday. The gunman escaped into the chaos and has yet to be identified by authorities. Hunt County Sheriff Randy Meeks says authorities believe the shooter may have been targeting a single person at the party, and the others may have been shot at random.
A small wildfire broke out Sunday morning near Vallejo, with flames coming dangerously close to homes and forcing California State University Maritime Academy to evacuate at the northeast end of San Francisco Bay. The fire also forced the freeway to close and traffic to be halted at the Coronez Bridge toll booth. Vallejo is 55 miles south of Geyserville, where a massive wildfire forced 180,000 people to flee their communities.
Coming up, protest, a gender reveal turned tragedy, and more.
We'll be back after this.
I never chew tobacco.
I don't drink much.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
HPV. Isn't that about cervical cancer?
What does that have to do with oral cancer?
HPV? Didn't know that.
Hey, Major, did you get your flu vaccine yet? Make that your mission for today.
Did you say mission? Let's do this. With the flu season coming up, we all have to help protect ourselves by getting the flu vaccine. If you're over 65 like me, you gotta even be more careful. Look out! Our immune system may not be as strong as it used to be, so we have to do everything we can to keep the flu from catching up with us. Educating yourself about your flu vaccine options is important. It's also really easy. So ask about your vaccine options, because if you're a tough guy like me, you may need a tough vaccine. The flu can aggravate other conditions, so make it your mission to get the right flu shot for your age.
Lee, is that you? Did you complete your mission?
Oh, you mean the flu shot? No sweat. Visit the National Council on Aging at ncoa.org/flu to learn more about vaccine options for people 65 and older.
Tensions in Hong Kong are high surrounding concerns of citizens towards police action and pro-democracy demonstrations, especially in regards to animal safety. Hong Kong police have faced criticism for heavy-handed tactics in the past, and protesters are especially angry about the recent treatment of police dogs, who were exposed to tear gas with no protective gear. The force says on its Facebook page that no police dog has passed away or felt unwell as a result of handling protests since June.
An oil spill has sullied almost 250 beaches on Brazil's northeastern coast since the start of September, and consumers are avoiding fish and lobster for fear of contamination. The spill is disastrous for the thousands of fishermen who make a living from the waters of the Bahia state. The source of the oil is unconfirmed at this time.
Authorities in Nebraska are aggressively pushing to remove contraband from Nebraska's largest prisons. They have enlisted help from state and local police and even the National Guard, but admit them have probably missed some illicit items. Prison experts say the age-old problem has worsened thanks to new technology that makes smuggling easier, persistent staffing shortages that make it nearly impossible to catch everything, and a few correctional workers and visitors who go to extreme lengths to sneak illegal items inside.
A 56-year-old woman in Knoxville, Iowa has died after an explosion at a gender reveal party created debris that hit the woman. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says the explosion happened at a home in central Iowa around 4 p.m. Saturday during a party to announce the gender of a baby a couple is expecting. The victim's name has not been released.
Coming up next, lint, poisonous frogs, and more fires.
We'll also get the latest news from Hollywood.
And when we come back, you're going to have our biggest look at the next upcoming week. And we'll be back on NewsCenter 15.
Where are we?
We are at Marietta College.
This is where we live at Marietta College.
Dryer lint was collected from across the country. It was pieced together to form a Guinness World Record-breaking ball of lint, weighing just short of 700 pounds. It was then burned to help raise awareness about the dangers of dryer fires.
Pet owners in Florida are on high alert for bufo toads, also known as the cane toad. It is an invasive species that can be deadly to household pets. If a dog tries to attack it, the toad can release a poisonous secretion. Exposure can cause seizures and cardiac arrest. Warning signs are heavy panting, dilated eyes, and red gums. If you notice this, flush out your pet's mouth with water and call your vet immediately. In the past 2 days, a local toad removing company reported collecting nearly 1,000 of them.
California is under widespread fire warnings across the state, and thousands of firefighters on the ground. In the north, the Kincaid fire has burned more than 66,000 acres. California officials across the state are taking this fire season very seriously. The Getty Fire, just the latest wildfire to break out in the state, started overnight next to the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, quickly consuming more than 500 acres. And as the fire forces some road closures, officials are urging residents to be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Along with the Kincaid fire in the north, the Tick fire near Santa Clara, and a number of other fires, tens of thousands of acres are burning in California, and all coming during a time of extremely dry conditions and very high winds. Drama in Hollywood and a song returns to the top spot?
Here's Andrew with a look at the Hollywood Minute.
This is Andrew Santini with a look at the Hollywood Minute. What's a drama and what's a comedy? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood deals with the Manson family. Hustlers is about women who turn to crime, drugging men to steal their money, and Jojo Rabbit is about the Holocaust and features Adolf Hitler. Yet all three have plenty of humor, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, all three have been submitted as Golden Globe contenders for Best Musical or Comedy, not Best Drama. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association reviews the submissions and either approves or overturns them. In other news, Post Malone is back on top. His album, Hollywood's Bleeding, spent 3 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 when it debuted this fall. Now it's returned to the top spot. It's the first album released this year to spend 4 weeks atop Billboard's album charts, and Malone's first album to spend 4 weeks at #1. In Hollywood, I'm Andrew Santini. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. Now it's time to check back with Jared for an extended look at our forecast.
What do you have for us, Jared?
Well, what I have is some things that you're probably going to like. As you can see, coming up from the south, up towards Florida, they're going to have a little bit of rain, but where we're at, really nothing. I mean, we're really going to be enjoying that fall weather. It's going to get a little bit colder, but for the most part, it's really just time to break out those long knitted scarves, and everything. And I mean, as we take a little bit closer look, I mean, there are some spots in rain, like towards in West Virginia, but where we're at, not really anything coming in. So as we move forward onto the week forecast, here's a look at our 5-day forecast. So on Wednesday, we're going to have a high of 73 and a low of 61, afternoon rain, which in Ohio, knowing the weather is strange, normal. Thursday, we have a 68 and a low of 37. Same thing, rainy, which, Ohio. Friday is going to be strange. It's going to have a low or a high of 48 and a low of 29, mostly cloudy, so it's going to be a lot colder. There's going to be a sudden dip as the end of the week. Saturday, high 52, low of 20. As we can see, same thing. It's going to be a low dip, partly sunny, but like really it's going to be cold. And then Sunday, 47, 25. Mostly sunny, but it's still going to be cold outside, so make sure you're dressed and you have warm clothes on. So really, I mean, the key is dress for the weather, read the forecast, and make sure you're going outside and you're geared up because it is flu season now. So I don't want to get the flu, and you certainly don't want to get it either. And we're going to head back to the desk.
Thanks, Jared. When we come back, we'll have more news stories and an update in sports.
Stay with us.
Cancer may be tough, but we are tougher. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Our game-changing research has led to the belief that the cures for cancer are in our blood. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood.
I think it goes around.
Come on, buddy.
I'm here for you.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Look, look.
Why is this so hard?
Let's go. We gotta get you in practice.
I read it. Look, and it's set.
And now we're back with Landon Konjovich for a look at sports.
How do you think the football team did this weekend?
I think it'd be interesting to find out. Why don't we swing over and see what Landon has for us?
Well, the football team did struggle this week. I'll get into that a little bit later. But first up, the Houston Astros have taken a 3-2 lead in the World Series after defeating Washington 7-1 in Game 5 in the nation's capital, pushing the Nationals closer to elimination. A pair of 2 homers from Yordan Alvarez in the second inning and Carlos Correa in the fourth gave the Astros the lead. Also, Houston's ace pitcher Garrett Cole dominated the mound for 7 innings with only a home run by Juan Soto to leave a mark as the Tory through the Washington lineup. For the second story, Patrick Mahomes believes he could have suited up for the Kansas City Chiefs in their Sunday loss against the Green Bay Packers. Only 10 days after his dislocated kneecap, the second-season rookie was ready to go. Unfortunately, head coach Andy Reid won't rush Mahomes back to the field, even if he's ready to return. He's leaving that up to the team's medical staff. And for the football story you guys were talking about earlier, the Marietta College football team suffered a devastating loss to John Carroll this weekend, 21-23. The Pioneers had only scored 7 points until the fourth quarter, where they staged a comeback with a pair of touchdown passes to Andrew Barker and Robert Nelson. Unfortunately, they could not pull out the win, but there's always next weekend. Marietta College's men's and women's basketball team hosted Pioneer Madness this past week on October 25th. It allowed students and fans to meet the players and to showcase the talent of both squads. First men's basketball game will be held on November 15th. With WCMO TV, I'm Landon Konjovich. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Landon. And joining us here now is Jared Ruffin with our final look at our weather. So
well, guys, I mean, as you can see, I got the knitted sweater out. It was cold this morning, and it's really what it's going to be up this upcoming week. It's going to be cold, and really it's going to be an awkward weather. There is going to be some rain, so make sure you come prepared, and don't dress like Cooper unless you have an umbrella, because you don't really want to worry, like, you're going to mess up your suit.
Yeah, I should have brought my sweater today. It is kind of going to be a bit chilly throughout the week. So.
Aren't you cold?
I'm fine, actually. I'm from New York, so.
Well.
Well, that's it for today's broadcast. From all of us here at WCMO TV, thank you for watching. We hope you join us again for Thursday's edition of WCMO TV at noon 30 and 6:30. And thank you for always choosing us for your news stories and information.